Dear students, it is the third video and we are talking about how to write mechanisms. This video is connected with the video second. Unfortunately, that was interrupted in the middle. Well, in writing mechanisms, everybody must understand the structuralism. The theory of structuralism is that we cannot elaborate a function properly onto our audience unless we clearly express the structure of the things, because every machine is designed for a specific structure. So what you can do with these things you cannot do with the others. Let's, for example, your hands and feet both appears alike. Clear? Both appears alike, both have fingers and almost a similar function. But even that, hands and feet are not similar in its functions, that what you can perform with hands may not be performed by your feet fully. The reason is that the hands have been structured bit differently than your feet. It's a simple example. And similarly, in your belly there are certain organs that the function of heart cannot be transferred to liver. Clear? And the function of liver cannot be replaced with the function of heart. Similarly, look at your laptop. Your keyboard cannot like your computer screen, and your computer screen may not appear like keyboard. However, digitally it has been made possible that everything has been over there. So that is some other exceptions, but mechanically a keyboard is a different thing, and whereas your computer screen is a different thing, right? So understanding that how some machine can perform different thing, you need to understand structure. For example, how we watch, the structure of human eye, and within the human eye there are many complexities. This is the same thing, that whether somebody is a doctor, mechanical engineering engineer, or chemical engineer, or a computer engineer, every field requires its own peculiar functions, structures, and nature of description. Let's take an example, that introduction of the section, initial presentation of mechanism. For example, we are writing about computer. So we have to first write introduction. A computer is an advanced electronic machine which was designed, which is based on the rules of complex mathematical and logical algorithms. That computers are very special in facilitating human beings instantly in more complex matters, in computation and others. Now computers are the necessary element of the every household. Here you have to give a picture of the computer. That is necessary writing mechanisms, that all the mechanisms and processes must be elaborated with proper diagrams. Fine. So you have to write picture. For example, you draw a picture of there is a CPU, there is a monitor, keyboard placed, and accessories, and then label all these things. Second thing is organization of the description. You have to tell that it is also included in introduction. A computer is comprised on the following major parts. Number one, CPU, monitor, keyboard and mouse plus the additional accessories. This is how you have completed your introduction. You can apply this rule on computer, you can apply this rule on click pencil, on nail cutter, whatsoever. Second thing is organization of the description. That you have written CPU, keyboard, monitor, mouse, part by part description. Now we have to express each part clearly. For example, CPU is the main part and you have to write it here, CPU. Now start giving details about the CPU. CPU, central processing unit, is a brain of computer. Clear? It is now its appearance. It appears like a box with certain buttons and lights. Clear? Once start giving details, it is fixed with a wire with the other. Clear? So you have to tell the shape of CPU, the size of CPU, the relationship of the CPU with the other parts, how the CPU is fixed with the other material of the CPU, and finish. Okay, so this is apparent description of the main part. But remember this, that the CPU itself is not a, it is not a hollow box, it is not an empty box. Actually inside the CPU there are certain things like processors, like RAM and ROM, like motherboard or other things, for example. So these are also important things. So one by one you also have to express CPU subpart 1, like we say processor, shape of processor, size of processor, relationship with other parts, method of attachment, material, finish. Clear? All the details that are given here you have to that what is the subpart 1, its purpose, for example part 1 CPU, and then subpart 1 processor, purpose, appearance, detailed description, size, shape, relationship with other parts, method of attachment, material, finish, and how each part is fixed with the other part. Clear? And remember this, that it is necessary that first you have to elaborate CPU with all its subparts, then you shift on the keyboard. Then you may proceed to the what we say screen of the computer or monitor, or then you shift to the cursor or the machine. Okay, now organization of description, that overall organization. Now it is easier for us to understand that first the power button is pressed. Firstly the power button is pressed from CPU and the computer comes on. Clear? With the help of keyboard we enter the input, and that input is taken into the CPU, that processes it, matches it, pattern match it, and appears, it shows us the output on the screen. With the help of cursor we can scroll, we can highlight, delete or whatsoever. Clear? And this is how computer works. Understood? This is, again I am emphasizing, this is structuralism, that unless until you do not elaborate the very designing of the machine, function cannot be elaborated fully. Hope you have understood that how these machines work, and furthermore we can take example here. Look at this machine. Here it is how drone work. It is an example I have downloaded for you, that how the drones work. It is very familiar flying object. Clear, drones are now very much in research and modern warfare. How drone works? First of all, you have to express that what a drone is. Number two, you have to explain its major parts. For example, its electric motor, battery, ESC, camera, propellers, okay, onboard computer, TX, RX, mean these are the signal machines, and this is the appearance of the drone. Fine, and here all the details are given, part by part description, that what is the TX, the transmitter, RX, the receiver, flight control board, fine, the battery, and they have expressed each and everything so that you may fully understand drone. Clear? And this is very important. Read it and remember it, because once you are a computer professional, you have to design different kind of applications, and you need to express or give description, explanation to your potential client and to your audience as well, in shape of writing instruction manuals. And remember this, that the students of the final project must understand that in final project you are simply expressing mechanisms and processes. So you keep in mind that how to elaborate, because in the final presentation in front of the panel or jury, you have to describe, individually elaborate this function of your project. Thank you very much.